there's so many similarities in this story for the two of you. You both got pregnant around the same time. You both had a miscarriage. Both were away from your wife when this happened. Both of you struggled to get there, and that must have felt absolutely helpless on your guys' part. It broke my heart for you. It was difficult to watch because I knew as a man all you wanted to do is be at home and to comfort her and to take care of her through this. I find it good to share the things we are going through. A large majority of my sermons come from what I'm going through right now. Walk us through what happened.
Well, a week before the miscarriage was confirmed, we went to the doctor. She went to the doctor. I was on the phone. And yeah, the doctor said it's not looking good. The baby's heart is beating, but it's irregular heartbeats. Um, and when I was listening to the heartbeat over the phone, I didn't really know what to look for, so I was, still kind of excited. The baby's heartbeat is beating. I didn't know until the doctor let us know that that's not normal, and just said that there is still hope, but it is not looking good. She starts getting tears in her eyes, and wants to be alone from the people, but is still very open to me. Um, and so, of course, I had tears in my eyes as well. Hearing that news, it was not good news. So we go on from there, and uh, the rest of the day, we're just talking with each other, just have a normal day, and we end up praying. And over the course of the next week, we pray together. Every prayer involved this baby. We prayed for the baby's health. We prayed for peace for us and joy. And we had all those things. And so then she goes into the doctor's office the next week. The doctor confirmed that the baby's heart had stopped beating. That's when we got the news that we had a miscarriage.
The fact you weren't there and just that helpless feeling. Talk about that emotional roller coaster and how hard that was.
I mean, I couldn't be there for her at that time. I couldn't comfort her. I couldn't cover her. Couldn't take care of her. Um, because the hardest part for me, and I'm sure you can agree, is that the hardest part isn't losing the baby for a man as much as it is seeing your wife in such pain. Like, of course, it hurts to lose the baby, but it hurt a lot more to not be able to comfort my wife.
To be able to sit here and say good things came of this, it's quite early for that. But have you seen anything good that has come of it that you can start speaking on? Because I think in the months to come, you guys are both going to experience uh, more understanding. You're going to see God's hand in this. You're going to see healing. Um, but is there something you can see now already?
So she is a very secretive person, and she has her reasons. Absolutely. A number of times throughout this past year, I have, tried to get her, just go hang out with her. Go hang out with your friend, your coworker. Um, but that would not happen to the point that she would like be close with her. Um, but after this miscarriage, um, the day that she told me, yes, please do come over, is the day that she invited a coworker over. And it's the day that they did become true friends. From there, she opened herself up and, shared with her some life experiences and uh, talked with her through the miscarriage because her friend also did go through a miscarriage pretty recently, a few months ago. Um, and so that was amazing to see. And then when I showed up a couple days later to Greece, we had that friend over again, and we had we had some food together, and we walked outside together, and just shared life with one another.
Tell me what it's done for the two of you together.
It has brought us closer. Uh, it has really deepened trust and faith. She reaffirmed me. She asked me, "Do you trust me? Do you trust?" And what she was getting at was, "Do you trust that regardless of the situation that I'm in, regardless of how irrational I can be, that I will not leave you?"
Hmm.
And I said yes.
So everything just deepened, and your faith, started growing, and that's just fantastic because love, early on is exciting and it's fun and it's beautiful, but it's not till tragedy strikes that love becomes deep seated. And so, man, you're hitting the road running. Like, to have something like this happen so early in your marriage is such an opportunity to come together. So I'm happy that it's already bearing fruit. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So I want to switch gears, and I want to talk to Barnabas. Um, Barnabas, when you found out about the miscarriage, you were in Texas. Uh, just tell us about how that all transpired, how that went down.
Yeah, so it was the work trip itself had already been kind of taxing. Texas is hot. I'm from Connecticut. I don't like hot weather. It's not my thing. Um, but it was just another day of kind of hot work, and you know, got up that morning, got dressed, hung out with the guys, and got to it. Um, and as we're working, I get the text from Hannah, and she's saying, "Hey, I'm getting these cramps and stuff. There's a lot of blood and things like that." And she was worried about a miscarriage, and that was it's like everything just felt like it slowed down really quick. It was like, whoa, I what do I do with this? But I'm not home. I can't do anything about it. I'm here. It's like, and so we, I texted her back. We talked about it, talk to the midwife. I'll be sure is this what's actually going on. And actually, so she talked to the midwife, and the midwife was telling her that actually, it's probably just part of the process. It's not an actual miscarriage. It's just, just internal stuff rearranging for the process to continue. Um, and I remember just feeling relief, when she said that. I was like, okay, I can stop freaking out, because I was actually starting to like get emotional and stuff like that. The stress was hitting me hard. Um, and then she said, the midwife says it's just part of the process. We're okay. Deep breath, and I was like, okay, all right. And I just got back to work. Um, and I kept talking with her and stuff, and then I think probably maybe half an hour later, she texted me again, and she's like, "Hey, this is not a normal amount of blood. The cramps are getting worse. There's more blood, and I don't think this could be anything but a miscarriage." Um, and and again, everything. I mean, and this time it was like slamming on the brakes, like brick wall, just like that, and I could not function. Um, I had to go back to my room and just cry for a bit, and like, it was. I just told the guys, "Hey, I gotta go." Just like I think I'll be back, and just give me a second. I gotta go to my room. Um, and that feeling was really the distance. It's like I'm stuck out here in this desert while my wife is back home going through hell, and I can't do anything about it. I can't comfort her. I can't slow it down. I can't. There's no words I can say that are going to do anything. It's the best I can do is be on the phone and be present and cry. Um, and even that took a second. Like I tried suppress the emotions because I didn't just want to break down in tears. I tried to distract myself and run from it, and it just nothing, nothing worked. And at that point, I just had to sit and just cry and lay in bed and cry. Um, and it was like it was so turbulent where when I thought it was kind of over, when it came to talking to Wayne and Tongan, like the emotion just all came flooding back. Like I couldn't even vocalize it. It took me a second to get the words out again because it was just that. Um, and yeah, that's so he let me know. Okay, yeah, no, we'll figure something out. We'll get you home. But between between that, it was just sitting on the phone with her, um, and then by myself, just God, what is this? What's happening? I don't get it.
So you get a ticket and you start the journey home, and then you hit more turbulence. No pun intended, but you really, yeah. Tell us about that experience.
There were two flights. The first one in that had to be a connecting flight in Chicago. Um, First flight left late, and then I missed my connection by maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And like I remember, like the our plane landed. I got out and I was running to try to make my connection. And I got there, and they had just closed the doors. Sorry. And one of the other people on my plane was trying to make the same flight, and they were complaining that they held our first plane for this obstruction, and now we get here, they didn't even hold it for us, and they were all over it, and I was just like, I need to get home. I don't get it. And then so sat in the airport, got a different flight, and then it was just, hey, your flight's delayed, and then hey, your flight's delayed, and then hey, your flight's delayed, and it ended up being probably a 12-hour total delay of just sitting there in the airport and not being able to make anything happen. And I remember one time I'm walking past this gate and I'm looking at all the flights, and every single flight on the board was either delayed or canceled. And I was like, holy crap, what is going on? Everything for me has already hit the brakes, and now, real life, everything is hitting the brakes. And that was just another paralysis, just sitting in the airport waiting and waiting and waiting. And until finally, they got this plane landed, and hey, go to this gate, your plane's here. And then we get there and it's like, okay, we've got the plane, but we don't have a crew to fly it, so hold tight. I was like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, it's like everything, it seemed like everything that could slow me down was finally, it was slowing me down. Like everything that could go wrong was just going wrong now, of all times. And yeah, so that was another, 45 to an hour, I think, of just sitting there waiting for a crew to land and then to show up and then to get all that organized. And yeah,
Unbelievable. So this whole time you're just wanting to get home. Like share your emotions about like in that time.
in the beginning, it was there was a lot of anger. I was just like, we missed our connection by like 5 or 10 minutes. What the heck? I mean, it's such a small gap. Couldn't if they have waited, couldn't anything could have gone right. And to miss, I mean, the difference was like for the price of 5 or 10 minutes ended up costing me like a day. Like that's crazy. And it was in the beginning, it was just sitting and just being angry about it, and texting Hannah, I'm sorry, I can't be there. I'm sorry, I'm not there yet, and I don't know. And that was even the next part of it, was that not only am I not home, but I don't know when I'll be home, because before I thought I did. Before I was going to make this flight, I was going to be back in Ohio by noon-ish, and then it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. It was, hey, they delayed it by another hour, it's coming here at this time, and then oh, by another hour, and then oh, by another hour, and then it was just like, I don't know, I'm sorry, and then it was just a waiting game, where there was no news that made a difference except for that the plane is actually showed up, because every new message on my phone was just, it's been delayed again. And it was just, it was anger in the beginning, and then just kind of this apathy after that, where it's just like, I can't do anything but sit and wait, and that sucks.
Yeah, that must have been incredibly difficult. The frustration of being stuck in an airport is one thing, but to have a wife at home who's in need had to have been just so much more difficult. How has this brought the two of you together in the aftermath?
I mean, for me, on an individual basis, like being in Texas and hitting that level of despair forced me to be emotional. And I'm not generally a very emotional person, and that just it broke something in me. And I think for me that was a reminder that it was like, there's sometimes you just gotta cry. Sometimes it's just got to come out, and there's no way around it. Um, and then, as a couple, I mean, since then, Hannah's told me on a number of occasions that, I'm really thankful for how involved you were. For even though you weren't, there physically, you were staying in contact. You were asking how I was, this and that. Um, just being attentive and kind of stepping in as best as I could, putting all I had on the table. Um, and it's really brought Hannah together for her to trust that when things go sideways, I'm going to show up one way or another.
That's really cool. I guess the two of you, how has this brought the two of you together? You know, you, Harrison, and Barnabas. I mean, it's given you guys an opportunity to kind of talk through it or have some conversations.
We've had a fair relationship. I mean, we worked a lot together. Um, we went on a number of trips together. But since I stopped going on trips, we have not been close necessarily. Maybe a couple awkward conversations. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Here and there. But yeah, when you told me, Paul, that they were going through the same thing, yeah, that opened my heart for you guys in a way that it wasn't open before.
Yeah, I think I can say the same. I mean, it put you back in my attention because we didn't really talk a lot before, and it was just like, I remember this I think it was this past Saturday you were handing out your offering basket, and I saw you, and I couldn't even say for a second. My voice just went out of me, and I had to stand there and like fight tears. um, and then after that, I came in and sat down and we talked and stuff, and it was like, as sucky as this thing is, I'm glad that there's someone else around who understands. And I mean, so shortly, with how similar the situations are, it's like that's uncanny, and not having to do that alone is important. Yeah.
Man, that's so good. I guess I have just this last question is like, how, if we as a church have been praying for more children, how do you dignify this as an answer to that prayer?
Oh, Father, well, here we are. I do not know what happened, and I do not know what you are planning. For 4 months, you answered every one of my prayers, big and small. In that season, I wrestled with jealousy, frustration, and the belief that I knew your will. I tried to convince my now wife with logic and common sense, but my words could not change her heart. It was only when I prayed that you came through. Again and again, within a day, both of our hearts were always changed. You showed me that I was not the one covering her. You were. And in realizing that, I found freedom. And then came our wedding day. Almost nothing went according to my plan. I forgot my white button-down shirt. The ceremony was delayed. My bride nearly walked down the wrong aisle. We kissed too early. The robes were forgotten, and even our first dance fell apart. But somehow it was beautifully perfect. By the end of the night, we were dancing freely in the rain and in the moonlight. The next day, every ache in my body reminded me of your answered prayers. We arrived at our honeymoon, surrounded by soft sand and clear water. In that joy and freedom, we prayed, and we had decided to have a baby. You said yes, and you gave us a perfect week. Weeks passed, and the joy continued. Then we found out we were going to have a baby. After all the grace that you have already given us, we were grateful to receive yet another gift. We shared the news with family and friends, and the happiness continued. A few weeks later, we went to the doctor, and during the ultrasound, we heard our baby's heartbeat for the first time. But something felt wrong. The doctor was quiet. And then he told us the heartbeat was irregular, and the yolk sac was splitting. It did not look good. And from that moment, I worried. As tears filled my wife's eyes, I prayed for you to help me cover and comfort her. That week, we prayed continually for the baby, and my wife carried a smile of hope and trust. And then the next week, the doctor told us that the baby's heart had stopped beating. This time, my wife's tears did not come, and everything changed. She went home and tried to keep moving, while I tried to comfort her. But with every word, and even in the silence, I felt pushed farther away. She wanted to quit her job, but I tried to reason with her. But nothing I said could change her mind, and I became completely helpless. And so, Father, I ask again, why did you answer my prayers for 4 months? Yet when we asked for a child and you said yes, why did you give us a miscarriage instead? My son, you are right. I have been faithful. I have given you my grace abundantly. Every prayer you prayed, I answered. I wanted to grow you, to cover you, and prepare you. I showed you my wonderful grace again and again. I have not left you, nor have I forsaken you. As the author of your life, I am pleased with what I have given you. Just as it hurts you to see your wife in pain, so does it pain me to see you hurting, helpless, and close to the point of despair. You found out yet again that words from your mouth have no good power when I do not allow it. And I did not allow it today, for you needed to experience this helplessness. As for your wife, I know the hurt she is going through. Nothing about this is easy. But I am the author of her life too. I crafted her to think every thought and experience every feeling, so don't worry so much about her quitting the job. Be patient and trust that I will take care of you both. As I have shown you my works abundantly over the last 4 months, so will I continue. I am far from done. You asked me for a child. I said yes. I gave you a child. I just decided to raise her myself. Just the other day, I showed you a deer and 2 does. A deer and 2 does. One of them is yours. Her name is Winslow. You will meet her again, and you will hear her perfect heartbeat. Her joy is complete as she waits for her mother's hug. As I have kept her, so also do I keep you. Read John chapter 9. My son Jesus and his disciples went up to a man born blind. The disciples asked if it was he or his parents who sinned. And what did Jesus tell them? He said it was not the man that sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. There are many more works I will display through you and your wife, some painful, but many joyful. Simply remember to do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly before me. My love for you is immeasurable. Let your knees hit the ground before me, and continue to pray all kinds of prayers. Always know that I will work all things together for good. That is the only option for you. Let's pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom has come, and thy will has been done, on earth as it is in heaven. You've given us this day our daily bread, and you've forgiven us our trespasses, as we have forgiven those who trespass against us. You have led us out of temptation and delivered us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.